It all started when I was very young. I fell in love with the horror genre. Me and my friends, when we were way too young to be watching horror films,
Mm.
just watched, we were at first it was always just looking for like the bloodiest movies we could find, like that was our thing. And our parents weren't very happy that we were watching horror, but they were like, well, at least we know, because we would either watch it at my house or my friend Calvin's house or my friend, like we were always at one of our three houses. So they're like, well, at least we know where they are and they're out of trouble. So we'll let them watch this. But I saw the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which is kind of my favorite. Well, it's not kind of, it's my favorite horror film of all time. And it really changed my love for horror into like an obsession. Like, because I saw with that film, like all the stuff that you could do. I know there'd been a couple of kind of reality bending horror films before that, but I'd never seen it done in that way. And, the concept was brilliant, the set pieces were brilliant, the script was brilliant. Freddie, iconic killer, Nancy, iconic final girl. Um, so yeah, that like movie blew my mind, and it's funny because that actually led to my career because when I saw the film, I went home and I banged out a treatment for a prequel. And yeah, I'm 14. This is like 19, not to date myself, but it's 1984. Like, and I lived in a trailer in the hills of Kentucky, like knew nothing about the film industry. I was just this little hillbilly horror fan. And I went home and I banged out a prequel idea and I mailed it to Bob Shea. I found out his address in New York and I
Mm.
mailed it to head of New Line Cinema. And he sent it back and he's like, we don't read unsolicited material. And so I had to look up what that meant because I was only 14. And then I was like, oh, and so I just wrote him back and I sent it again. And I'm like, look, sir, I've spent $3 on your movie. I think you can, or your movies. So I think you
Mm.
could take 5 minutes to read my story. And he actually read it and he got back to me. And him and his assistant, Joy Mann, who became like a godmother to me, she was just the most amazing woman. They stayed in touch with me and they would send me scripts and they would just encourage me. Obviously I was not a good writer at, 14 and
Yeah.
not having ever even read a script. Um, but they didn't tell me that. They just told me like positive things to focus on and work on.